So I'm Forrest Young. I'm the head of design at Wolff Olin San Francisco. And the piece that really stood out to me, having kind of seen days and days of phenomenal work across a huge breadth of technologies and printed material and ephemeral stuff, was the refugee flag, the flag for the refugee nation. What really stuck with me is that it's haunting in a wonderful way that all great design is. That you can imagine, 15 years from now, you imagine this piece is going to be in a design history book about the type of design that is truly universal. I think a lot of brands, are global brands in footprint, but they're not global brands in consideration. And I think this was an emblem of considering all those people that didn't have nations to call home, and this was a flag about being kind of nomadic and taking pride in that. So I think for designers to be thinking, not pigeonholing themselves into a regional style or even a national identity, but to think about something larger, and this was, for me, a symbol of that new global sentiment and awareness that was cut through, sharp, and what I tell my students is, great logos, great symbols, great pieces of design, you can usually give a crayon to a child and they can recreate that. I think the refugee flag is simply, indicative of the orange life preservers that people wear, on the rafts and their efforts to get to shore.
For the first time ever, a refugee team was going to compete in the Olympics. 10 athletes with no national team, no flag, and no anthem to call their own. The whole world was looking at them. How could we make the world look to the millions they are representing?
The Olympic refugees have been making a name for themselves, and now they may have a flag.
Essa bandeira aqui é a bandeira dos refugiados, e a inspiração veio das cores do colete salva-vidas.
We partnered with refugees across the globe. Together, we created a flag and an anthem to represent the athletes.
Black and orange is a symbol of solidarity with all these brave souls that had to cross the sea to look for safety in a new country.
Refugee athletes embraced the national symbols and introduced them to the world.
Eu também vou levar a bandeira do meu time refugiado.
Thousands of flags have been distributed. People showed support on social media. Businesses became refugee-friendly businesses. And in the world's biggest display of nationalism, we finally raised a flag for those who were forced to leave their own countries. From Lesbos to Kakuma, refugee camps now shared a symbol of hope.
Bandeira para os refugiados significa muito.
For the first time ever, a symbolic nation was officially recognized at the One Young World Summit.
The Refugee Nation.
Exhibited at MoMA and Victoria and Albert Museum.
Flag is in the permanent collection of the V&A Museum now because it marks a crucial moment in the contemporary history.